Be careful, he could be extremely dangerous. What? That red weirdo with his mouth open? No way. Look at him. Does Polly want a cracker? No, you don't get a cracker. See, Cap? He's totally harmless. Hello and welcome back to the Ken OWE channel. Today we'll be talking about everyone's favorite psychopath, amazing Yamaguchi. Number 8, Carnage. As always, great box design. This time they painted the amazing Yamaguchi logo in red for Carnage, which is a nice touch. Sculpted by the only sculptor working there, Mr. Yamaguchi Katsuhisa. On the side you have the comic strip going all the way to the top. One side you have another comic strip theme and the other the figure coming at you, and at the back all the crazy poses he can do. And look at all those accessories. And of course, inside the box you have his backdrop, and they've reduced the amount of artwork, which is fine because as always, they look really sick. And look at all that, bless you Yamaguchi line. I can't wait to take this figure for a spin. So without further ado, time to unleash the carnage. As always, once again, Mr. Katsuhisa did an amazing job sculpting this guy. Paint application is surprisingly neat and tidy, the black that highlights some of the veins popping out, and all the muscle striations all sculpted in. There's nothing flat about this guy, not one smooth surface apart from his joints. Everything on him either has veins or muscle fibers. Talking about going overboard on that diet. Zero fat, right here. So just like Spider-Man, the only point where you can hide his arm joint is when his arm is at this angle. Straighten it and you have this disconnect. But with this character, I didn't mind having that as it sort of goes with the Carnage theme. However, this cut at the calf does make him look like he's wearing a pair of Carnage boots, and is the only thing breaking the illusion for me. Also, the Revoltech joint as always does require more effort to pose this guy, and for my figure the face is always angled to one side, but normal poses like standing isn't what this line is known for, but when it comes to action poses, this figure does them in spades. And you see these two dots on his chest? No, those aren't his nipples, there are holes where you can pack the accessories into, and he's loaded with holes at the back, but it's hardly noticeable from afar due to all the striations, and this isn't an issue for me since it serves the purpose, which I'll talk about more in the accessories portion. So overall, aside from the distracting boot cut, there was a lot of effort put into the sculpt and capturing the likeness of the character, and from the calf up, he looks extremely good to me. Moving on to his articulation. Face and neck is connected on a Revoltech joint, so altogether he can look up really high, look down really far, left and right no problem, and only slide side to side. His tongue is on a separate piece, but it has a cut to allow it to move up and down, which is a nice touch, and it can move side to side as well. Butterfly ball joint, which can do the 360 and move in and out a little bit. Arm on a Revoltech joint, so flap up and down, and it can do the 360 but it requires a bit of adjusting. Elbow joint, which can twist, flex, and the forearm can move around due to the ball joint. Wrists up and down and twist. As usual, abs can crunch really far, but little to no arch unfortunately. You can do the twist king, but it's mainly at the bottom of his torso, and he has little side to side movement as well. Due to the nature of his design, he can kick up and kick back, and his thigh swivels outwards, so if you want him to do a split, you'd have to make him kick up and then swivel his thigh inwards, and that forms the split. So he can do a nice split, but it just requires an extra step, unlike his predecessors. Ratchet knee flex, bald calf, so twist and move around a bit, and feet moves up and down, pivot surprisingly, and of course the Carnage toe curlers. Moving on to the anticipated portion of this figure, his accessories. He comes with the usual stand, of course, which you can peg at the back, but you're not here for that. Let's break down his tentacles slash weapons. He comes with tentacles with pointy ends, 4 long ones, 4 medium ones, and 4 small ones, and I'd be happy with just these, but no. Yamaguchi says not enough. Not for Carnage, not for you. I'm going to spoil you. Here's another pair of bladed tentacles with a hinge so you can move it around. Also, here's a pair of sword-like tentacles, a pair of axe-like tentacles, a pair of saw-like tentacles, a pair of icicles, all hinged. Oh, you're not satisfied? Wait, I've got more. Here's an extender. If you think any of those mentioned earlier are too short, you can peg them to this. And you can peg every one of those at the end. And if you want to make a weapon out of those crazy accessories, here's a slot with 2 holes on each ends, so you can custom make your own weapon however you want. Sky's the limit. And if that's not enough, there's even some holes on some of those accessories, like the sword or the axe, where you can peg those accessories into.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Well done, Yamaguchi Line. And there's also plenty of holes on this figure. You've got some on his back, 2 on his chest, even a hole on his forearm, his feet, hamstring. Every time I look at it, I'm always discovering a new one. So if I were to attempt to use all of his accessories on him, just like what you saw in the sketch, it turns him into something like this. And just look at that. Like I said, you can customize this Carnage however you want. It's all up to your imagination, and I really love that about this figure. If there's a hole, you can put it in. No pun intended. Oh come on, this is an action figure review. However, there are some pegs which require more force in order for them to stay in, but I advise to do that with caution.
But wait! There's more!
Yes, it's not over. They even provided you with a pair of fisted hands with a hole at the end, a pair of high five hands with a hole at the palm, and another casual Edward Scissorhand hand with no holes on this hand, and a tool where you can use to pull out the pegs. And my only concern is how tiny these pegs are, so I'm not sure how solid it is, but most of the accessories come with the peg, so you'd have a ton of spare. And when you're pulling the pegs out, so far I've tried this 3 times and it has a 100% flying rate, so please do it in a controlled setting or risk losing one of these. But this tool isn't as strong as there's already signs of wear and tear. He also comes with a pair of interchangeable eyes. To change it, simply pull his face out and you have to use the usual tool to push the eyes out and change it accordingly, and it comes equipped with these eyes, a pair of slightly squinted eyes, and another where one winks and the other side which looks a lot like the base ones but slightly different. Also, they provided you with extra Revoltech joints in case you break them. And here is Carnage standing next to other figures. So, in summary, I absolutely love this figure. I'm absolutely spoiled by the accessories given in this package, and it definitely sets the bar of the amount of accessories needed to be provided to be satisfied. Now if I see only 2 pairs of hands as an accessory, I'm going to be extremely disappointed. And as for the figure, even after playing with it for a while, I'm still finding new ways to customize his look, which makes him an extremely playable figure with plenty of articulation, and he certainly looks amazing. And it made me forget about all those minor gripes which doesn't really affect this figure much to begin with. However, I do have to note that this is definitely not a figure for kids at the age of eat anything they touch, as there's plenty of sharp edges on this figure and most of his accessories. I wouldn't even let a pet near this guy, just because there's plenty of little things they can swallow, and of course, it does require some form of patience when you're posing this figure, especially when you're setting him up with all those accessories, but once it's done, it's extremely satisfying to watch your own creation of Carnage posing on your shelf. Just be mindful about where you put him or his accessories. That concludes my review of this figure. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you did, please help me leave a like on this video and subscribe for more content in the future. Do let me know your thoughts about this figure in the comment section down below, and as always, thank you guys very much for watching. I truly appreciate it, and I hope you guys are embracing your inner geek and having a great week. Stay awesome, take care, and I'll see you guys at the next video. Click here for video 1. Click here for video 2. Click here to subscribe. Click it. Thank you for watching. Arigato. Thank you.